Welcome to Pocono Raceway, where the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series starts race 12 here live on LSRTV. I'm Michael Keaton up in the booth tonight, and Laura Lawson pushing the buttons down in production studios. Again, tonight, Pocono Raceway, race 12, the 2.5-mile racetrack set for 70 laps. But first, let's go back to Dover, race 11, the Dover 160. Boy, what a race it was, where Jonathan Cadell would earn his first win at RSR. Kyle Tarasco would finish second after starting 10th. Eric Brundys in the Stroker Races Chevy would finish third. John Higman Jr., part of the JGR team, would finish fourth. Nathan Little would round out the top 5 after starting 27th position. Scott Simley would be the man that's last on the lead lap. In 6th spot, Steve Gottschalk brought up the 7th position. Kevin Linden, who would start 26th, would finish 8th. Rhett McBride, part of that Real Deal Sim Racing team, would finish 9th. And Jose Malbrand would round out your top 10, 43 laps down, although. But a good night at Dover for the guys at Real Sim Racing at Full Throttle Cup Series. So, next, points coming into tonight's race at Pocono. Eric Brundys is the man who currently leads the point standings with 2 wins so far this season, but the man who's right behind him is 22 points back, and he's also got 2 wins to his name. Jonathan Cadell will sit 3rd spot after gaining some after the win. He's 66 back. Thomas J. George is 4th in the point standings. Steve Gottschalk rounding out the top 5. Scott Simley currently 6th. Nathan Little, searching for his first win of the season, is 7th. Kevin Linden, who already has 3 top 10s and 1 top 5, is 8th. Mark Bratcher, 9th in the point standings, 130 back. And just 1 point back from Bratcher is Brandon Peterson in 10th spot. So that rounds out the top 10 coming into tonight's race. So a little bit of uneven type situation coming into tonight's race. The only one that's really close currently, at least one race away from trying to gain some spots, is Rhett McBride again in 2nd position. So Pocono Raceway is where they'll make their claim tonight. Qualifying still currently underway. Jose Gonzalez, currently the man fastest so far in his 26 machine as always. A clear 76 degrees here tonight at Pocono Raceway, the 3-turn racetrack. Gets its nickname of the Bermuda Triangle with the 3 turns. 2.5-mile racetrack as well. Qualifying about a minute away from being wrapped up. 22 drivers so far taking down a time. Eric Brundys was the fastest man in practice, and Eric so far not putting a time down in qualifying just yet. He may be starting from the back. He hasn't entered the track, and with about 50 seconds to go here in qualifying, he may be trying to do it from the back. So Jose Gonzalez still currently the man that's on the position to lead this green flag tonight. 70 laps, Pocono Raceway again. You're watching the LSR TV. Live tonight's coverage of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. 28 drivers set the field tonight, and only 22 have qualified. We're going to take you to the quick commercial break, and we'll have the starting lineup for Pocono Raceway when we return. back to LSRTV's live coverage of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series live here Monday night, race 12, Pocono Raceway. The starting lineup. The man who would be quickest in qualifying is the 26 machine of Jose Gonzalez. Lining up to his outside will be the 41 machine of Bobby Terrell. Second row, the 85 of Adam Benefiel. Outside him, the 60 machine of John Hickman Jr. Fifth fastest tonight is Scott Simley in his 68 car. The 11 machine who won last week at Dover, it's Jonathan Cadell. Seventh spot tonight, Rick McBride in the deuce. 55, Dan Murray will start to his outside in 8th. Ninth quickest at Pocono, Scott Stencil in the 42. The 91, Steve Gottschalk will line up to the right side of him. Jose Malbrand with the top 10 last week will start 11th. Thomas J. George in that number 1 machine will roll off 12th. Starting 13th tonight, the 27 machine, Guy Snyder into his outside, the 14th starting car, the 44 of Glenn Campbell. Brian Harvey will round out 15th tonight. 16th is the 29 car of Brennan Mercer. Kyle Tarasca, another driver finishing in the top 10 last week at Dover, will finish or start 17th tonight. Brandon Peterson, the 78 car, will roll off 18th. Ed Williams Jr., 65 car, going to roll off 19th. 03, Nathan Bowers, 20th. 21 position car will be the 92 of Jason Lester. And the last to take time, the number 13 machine, Michael Woolley. Next row, the number 23rd spot tonight, the 94 of Eric Brundys. We talked about him. Fastest in practice, but no qualifying time. C.J. LeVere also going to start things from the back at 24th. Kevin Linden will roll off 25th tonight at Pocono in the 48 machine. Keith Brooks Jr., 26 in the 15. 27th belongs to Ryan Vaughn, who got into early trouble last week at Dover, and Doug Manning will start 28th tonight at Pocono. So 28 drivers here tonight set for the green flag race at Pocono Raceway, a track that broke ground in 1969 and opened in 1971. Former Pocono International Raceway, the Tricky Triangle coming at you. Again, race set for 70 laps. Pace car enters the field off into turn 3 here. 3 turns, 3 different degrees of banking. Turn 1 holds 14 degrees. And that was turn 2. I apologize, turn 2 right there. Turn 2, where we're just coming out of right now with the leaders, 8 degrees banking. And turn 3 gets even lower, 6 degrees. More than likely, we will not see any lap records made tonight. Lap record here at Pocono Raceway, 221 miles an hour by the man Marco Andretti. As the Ford First pace car gets ready to take us to the green here, 70 laps. Jose Gonzalez in the maroon Chevy. Green flag in the air. We will start here tonight, race 12. Tricky Triangle, turn 1 as they go through here, 140 miles an hour. Jose Gonzalez leads the field. So far, no problems. The field pretty much fanned out, all back here to about 5th and 6th spot, where there's side-by-side racing, still jockeying for the positions as we've got this thing underway. Half a lap been completed. Coming off of Tricky Triangle, turn 2, off into turn 3, still green flag racing. As some drivers starting to begin their journey towards the front. Up here in 3rd spot, we've got one going way down low to the trackside. That's Adam Benefiel in the 85 machine. As caution has just come out, we had just completed lap 1. Kevin Linden, Doug Manning amongst the 2 that I see spun out here. Doug Manning in the 26th position in the 51 car is actually going to rear end the 15 of Keith Brooks Jr. As you look at the replay there, the 15 car, the purple machine, just gets loose. And you'll see the 51 car of Doug Manning just nick him. He'll go up into the wall, and the 48 car also going to get unlucky there. Kevin Linden, the Lowe's Cobalt Chevy, also caught up into the mix of things as well. So 3 cars already suffering substantial damage here at Pocono Raceway. We had just completed 1 lap under green flag conditions. And now we'll slow them back up as Jose Gonzalez maintains the lead for now. Bobby Terrell in the 41 machine still controls that number 2 spot. The one that's fell back here, folks, is the 85 car of Adam Benefield. He was started 3rd tonight, and currently he's being shown 8th. It does look like, and it appeared that he was slowing down to maybe get out of harm's way as he went way below the racing surface. Doug Manning in the 51 machine has entered the garage area and has exited the vehicle. He's being shown currently right now in 28th spot. Engine lost in the accident. Doug Manning, an early exit tonight at Pocono. We had just completed lap 1, and we just seen our first first wreck. Doug Manning, by the way, outside the top 15 in points. In fact, you'll have to go way down the list to find Doug Manning. 49th spot in points. 5 races started this year for the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series on Monday nights. Tonight's race 12 brought to you live by the LSRTV gang. Pocono Raceway, again, formerly known as Pocono International Raceway. I like to call it the Bermuda Triangle, but they'll call it the Tricky Triangle. Located out in Pennsylvania, Pocono Mountains at Long Pond. $78,000 fans are lucky tonight and able to watch this thing live here at the track. And of course, you folks that you find home sitting behind your computer watching it live on the stream here. Pace speed 70 laps here. Pace speed 70 laps as they go off into one of the stretches. Again, an asphalt surface track, 2.5 miles long. It takes these drivers in a hot lap about 53 to 54 seconds flat to get around this track. Under pace speed, it takes about 1 minute and 52 seconds to get around this track. In fact, Jose Gonzalez's first lap was 1 minute flat. Second lap, obviously, coming through 1 and 2 under power, 1:06 for that lap, and now lap 3, 1 minute and 52 seconds. So nearly 2 minutes of a pace lap here at Pocono, and we'll do about 4 of them. We should get the one to go signal here. 4 laps will be complete at the line. 66 laps to go. Jose Gonzalez has led all 4 of them so far in his maroon Chevy. The Meatball Company sponsored vehicle leading the charge currently at Pocono. Race 12. Next Monday night, June 16th, race 13, the Michigan 180 will go 90 laps. Race 14 to end segment 2, we'll go to the Bluegrass and Blue Skirts of Kentucky. Kentucky Speedway will run 120 laps. That's June 23rd, another Monday night as well. And then don't miss this, folks. Set your calendars. July 7th. It's the Daytona 200 and the start of segment number 3, race 15 in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. 80 laps at Daytona. We did not get the one to go signal that time by, so we're going to go at least one more lap here. Another driver, Keith Brooks Jr., early exit tonight. He was caught up in that first 3-car accident with Kevin Linden and Doug Manning. Keith Brooks Jr., early exit again into the garage area, done. So that'll leave us with 26 drivers currently on the lead lap, 2 of which are off the track and off pace to Keith Brooks Jr. once again and Doug Manning. Kevin Linden is currently on the lead lap, although he's got some damage to the front of that car. It looks pretty brutal. Yeah, he was one of the drivers that got caught up in that first accident there. Nowhere really to go. He couldn't even slow down in time to at least minimize some of the impact. He just hit him head on, and he's got extensive damage to the front of that Lowe's Cobalt Chevy. And aerodynamics does come to play here, folks, at Pocono. Coming down these 3 long stretches here. Some last-second pit stops taking place here towards the back of the pack. A couple of the drivers coming down. Nathan Bowers in the 03 machine. Jonathan Cadell, last week's winner at Dover. The 55 of Dan Murray. Ed Williams Jr. and Ryan Vaughn, some of those drivers coming down pit road. The lights are off on the pace car. We're going green this time by. Jose Gonzalez so far has led all 5 laps, so we'll have 65 to go at the line when we go green. Checking on things with Eric Brundys. Finished 3rd last week at Dover. And who is your points leader coming into tonight's event? He is currently 13th spot. He has moved up 10 positions. He started 23rd. He was the one that was set there in 23rd spot, the first to not take time in qualifying. He's currently got his Pennzoil Ford up to 13th position. The inside road restarting here. This will be the 2nd restart. Obviously, we had the first green flag, and this will be the 2nd restart after a 3-car pileup after we just completed lap 1. Pace car for the 2nd time getting set to take us back to the green. Jose Gonzalez and the white-wheeled Meatball and Company Chevy will take us to it. No problems out front. The first 3 will single file it out as they go off into turn 1. Scott Simley is the first one under fire by Scott Stencil. Now Simley to the high side of the Deuce machine of Brett McBride as they go out of turn 1 here down into turn 2. A really tricky track here, folks. Turn 2 is probably one of the tightest corners to come into, and loose off the corners. Expect to see these cars a little loose off of every corner tonight, and maybe tight coming in, and they pick up so much speed coming into these corners that trying to get it slowed down can be somewhat tricky as each corner is different. Each turn here at Pocono is different, as caution is back out tonight. This one's going to happen towards the back here, and I believe it's going to be the Ryan Vaughn machine, 28 car and 26 spot. It's like a little self-solo spin coming off of 4 there, or 3. Oh, it's tricky. It's going to be tricky tonight. Coming through turn 3 here, he hit the rumble strip a little bit. Then he got it okay, and then it just seemed like it just went on him. He will come in and tag the inside pit wall area. He'll keep it out of the pits for now, but it's going to bend up that right rear. Checkpoint graphics. CG Ford Fusion of Ryan Vaughn brings out caution number 2. Couldn't quite make it half a lap that time until we saw the yellow silk fly. Currently your leader, Jose Gonzalez, as he starts to catch up to the pace car, who's at 70 miles an hour. We'll take a commercial break. Again, you're watching LSRTV Race 12, Pocono Raceway with the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. Back live here where we're under the second caution tonight. This one brought out by Ryan Vaughn. Again, LSRTV. Mike Keaton up in the booth tonight for RSR. Laura Lawson down in the production studios making all the camera angles happen tonight, and all the other engineering technical difficulties that I have no clue how to operate. Always doing a fine job. Again, tonight's race is at Pocono, where I believe if you blink for 1 second, you could be entering a tricky triangle. I'll try not to bore you too much with antics here, but some of the track configuration here at Pocono, it really offers a different type of racing than we're all normally used to seeing on on our Monday nights, Tuesday nights, and even on the Sundays with the big boys. It's 3 turns, obviously the tricky triangle. Pocono Raceway has a unique design, and in fact we'll take you high side up here at Pocono in the blimp, so you can get a really good look at the turns here as we set sail off into turn 1 behind pace speed. Each turn is modeled after turns at 3 different tracks. Did you know that? Turn 1, a 14-degree banking, which we're going through currently, was modeled after Trenton Speedway. How about that? Trenton Speedway. Of course, Trenton Speedway out New Jersey State Fairgrounds. Has a couple of different configurations for itself as we go down one of the stretches here off into turn 2, which turn 2 is also known as the tunnel turn. Like Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it has 9 degrees banking. Of course, we all know the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, out in Indiana. A track that goes way back, 1909, and opened in the same year. Now as we come in here to turn 3, we'll see a banking of 6 degrees that's somewhat similar to the Milwaukee Mile. Milwaukee Mile, another track. It's been open for quite some time. 1903. So how about that? That's the 3 turns at Pocono Raceway, where it offers you 3 different types of turns. It could also be said that the tri-oval are typically worse than the turns. How about that? What I mean by that is it could be said to be a tri-oval, but the turns are much more severe than those of a more typical tri-oval, such as like Daytona, and the track is really nearly a triangle. And I've seen some drivers here at Pocono. You know, I talked about the corners coming into each corner differently. If you overshoot one of these corners and come in too heavy, that car will literally head straight to the wall. And I don't care how much brake you apply to it or how much brake bias is in it, it's going to slide up into that wall. That's just how these turns are here at Pocono. They're tricky. This track really offers a different style of racing. And of course, the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series sets its 12th on the racing circus. Here we go for the 3rd time tonight. Jose Gonzalez will take us to the green here at Pocono, the 2.5-mile racetrack, coming off turn 3. 70 miles an hour pace speed as the pace car takes off, and we're green flag racing. Top 10 for the least safe into turn 1 here. Top 10 single file. Throw a blanket over the top 9 as CJ LeVere sits in that 9th spot where Jose Gonzalez leads John Hickman Jr. off into turn 3. Very close racing still. green flag as well. Keep that in mind as we nearly complete only our second lap of green flag racing, as now we've got a good battle shaping up between the 27 of Guy Snyder and the 68 car Scott Simley coming off turn 3. Simley in the 4 to the high side, the Chevy of Snyder to the bottom. Meanwhile, Eric Brundy slips his Pennzoil forward into the 8th spot after starting 23rd. A man on a mission as he set sail off into turn 1 with 2 cars side by side in front of him. Just ahead of those, the deuce car of Rhett McBride and Bobby Terrell duke it out for 3rd and 4th and 5th there. Scott Stenzel's thrown in the mix as now they'll separate and take it single file as the side by side action still continues between Snyder and Simley as they've somewhat separated it coming off the corner here. Looking a little bit further back here, Jason Lester, his 92 car. In 14th spot has his hands full with the 91 of Steve Gottschalk, and now the 5 car, Kyle Taraska, giving the 91 a little bump draft down Pocono Raceway off into turn 1. And this is where it gets tricky. Setting that corner up just right, getting through it. As these guys side by side right in front of Kyle Taraska. Kyle kind of playing poker face here as he gives Steve Gottschalk another bump and run coming off into corner 2 here. Lots of different types of racing going on as we got one through the grass down the backstretch here at Pocono. Oh boy, the 42 car Scott Stenzel took a nosedive off the corner, and he's got dark smoke coming out beneath the hood of that 42 machine. Scott Stenzel was running 5th spot and lost it. Coming off the corner, he just lost it. No one got around, no one hit him, no one was really around him. As we're still green flag racing, that happened below the racing surface as Jose Gonzalez widens his lead over John Hickman Jr. After we've got some good green flag laps ran in here, now these drivers starting to run their fast lap times, 54s. In fact, Jose, 54.136. So the second place car, John Hickman Jr., is 54.307, so that's the difference. With Scott Stenzel coming down pit road here, that'll put 25 drivers on the lead lap. Oh, now make that 24. Brennan Mercer 1 lap down in the garage area. Still green flag racing here. Oh, Guy Snyder, the 27 car, nearly spins it. I just caught it out of the corner of my eye, running 9th spot, lap 17, off of turn 1, right in front of Thomas J. George. He nearly spun it right in front of him, and he did a miraculous job of saving that green and blue car. Wow, what a save for Guy Snyder. As he will find himself now all the way back in 15th spot, dueling it out with Michael Woolley. Michael Woolley now getting loose up top side of Guy Snyder as they'll settle it back out. Pretty much single file racing now throughout the field, except for that small little battle there taking place. As we've got some good green flag laps ran under us here, as Brennan Mercer has pulled the plug, pulled that car behind the garage, and called it possibly a night here. So make that 24 drivers all the way back to the 11 machine of Jonathan Cadell, who is 17 seconds off lead pace here on the lead lap. Jose Gonzalez actually getting a little bit faster as the laps wind down. He just turned to 54.005. Make that another 54 flat for Jose Gonzalez as he completes lap 18. 51 laps. Nearly in the books here to go. Looking back here in position 22 where Adam Benefield runs. He's got Dan Murray in the 23 position right behind him, and of course Jonathan Cadell in that Toyota Camry, the Air Force Cadet. Another car spinning it off there off of turn 1. 92 car, Jason Lester, running 14th spot. Another one spinning, looks like off of turn 3 there, CJ LeBaire. And he's going to hook it on the front stretch and hit the outside wall right in front of traffic. Holy cow. And they're going to be able to avoid him, but CJ LeBaire, Laura called it, CJ coming off corner 3 here in 7th spot, is going to loop it and almost enter pit road here. He's going to save it, come back out, and going to gas it, and that's when you're going to see that car take a dramatic twist to the right-hand side and hit the outside wall, and luckily he got out of harm's way because that happened right in front of the pack. And we're going to slow things down from about 150 miles an hour back down to 70 as we will go back under the yellow flag conditions for the 3rd time tonight, as we have completed lap number 20. 50 laps to go here at Pocono. This may be a call to pit road for Jose Gonzalez and the leaders here, John Higman Jr. John Higman Jr. started 4th tonight. Now he's 2nd. Rhett McBride would start 7th. He's 3rd currently on the racetrack. 41 machine, Bobby Terrell slipped back 2 spots from starting 2nd to 4th. And Eric Brundys rounds out the top 5. He started 23rd. So right now he is the man on a mission. Fastest in practice. He put down a 3:11 to Jose Gonzalez 3:59, and listen to this, folks. 3rd fastest was Scott Stencil at a 6:41. So these two guys right here in their own country, Brundys and Gonzalez, coming off a tricky triangle turn number 2. They'll enter 3 here, and we'll see if Jose bites the dust and comes down pit road. You got to figure after 20 laps, you've got to make that call. And he will. The maroon machine of Jose Gonzalez is going to leave the field down pit road at Pocono. 55 miles an hour is the speed limit, with John Higman Jr. half a car length behind as they cross the line. 21 laps complete. Rhett McBride running 3rd in his white Deuce Toyota. Directly behind him, he'll have his pit stall coming up. Rhett McBride gets in real good. Scott Simley as well. Higman Jr., Bobby Terrell, and Jose Gonzalez, all those drivers coming in entry perfect, stopping right on the point. Left side's going up for most of the machines, and Jose Gonzalez will win the race off pit road, but it's another type of race for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as the 41 machine, Bobby Terrell, is being shown to have gotten that 2nd spot. He goes from 4th to 2nd. The win for him off pit road as Rhett McBride stays 3rd. John Higman Jr. will lose 2 in the mix and fall to 4th. And with that said, they're going to catch back up to the pace car and get some things going. Bobby Terrell with a 13.4 pit stop. And that's how your folks get you out into 2nd spot from 4th. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, hopefully the green flag back in the air here at Pocono Raceway. You're watching LSRTV's live coverage of Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. Welcome back, race fans. Live coverage, LSRTV, bringing you to Pocono Raceway tonight as Steve Gottschalk will stay out and claim the lead for now, as Jose Gonzalez will lose it and have to restart on the second spot. Here we go. The 91 Nerf Chevy takes us to the green here at Pocono, and Jose Gonzalez not short back to give it back up. Jose Gonzalez will reclaim the lead in turn one, but the deuce of Rhett McBride is full tailing behind in the Toyota machine as they'll rocket down the first stretch here at Pocono, with Eric Brundys now moving from 6th to 3rd. Meanwhile, Steve Gottschalk begins to find his way back towards 4th spot for now, and that'll actually gaggle some cars up. Bobby Terrell running in the 5th spot with the one of Thomas J. George and John Higman Jr. closing in pursuit there. Coming off of turn 3 here, Jose Gonzalez will lead this time by. And folks, in the middle of the broadcast earlier, I talked about someone who held a lap record. And we've got some good chatters in the chat room tonight in the race. And anyone remember Marco Andretti or Mario Andretti? Who holds the fastest lap record? 10 seconds, go. As Jose Gonzalez trying to claim the lap record tonight. 197 miles an hour coming at you in turn 2 here, with Rhett McBride, folks, right behind him, half a car length. Here he comes off the corner, looking for it for the lead for the first time tonight. Can the Toyota take it from the Chevy? He set the turn up here and pretty nicely now, coming off the corner. The 2 car going to lose the steam as he nearly spins it off the corner. Jose still claiming the lead. Now we'll go 3 wide with Brundys looking for the lead off the corner. .200 miles an hour hit by all 3 drivers coming off in the corner 1. Eric Brundys going to have to hit the binders late, and that will keep Jose Gonzalez to the front here at Pocono. Coming off the corner, let's crank it up here on LSRTV Live. I tell you, exciting things happening during the crank it up. We had some cars go off the corner and down through the grass. The grass don't look too tall out there. I don't think it needs cut. What do y'all think? Meanwhile, Eric Brundys, guys, has climbed his Ford all the way to the 2nd position after starting tonight's race at Pocono 23rd. We'll see if we can't get you what happened exactly during the crank it up. Yeah, the 27 car guys tonight are going to actually get Brandon Peterson a little uneasy, and it sends him through the grass there. He will do a great job of saving it and keeping this Pocono race under the green flag conditions. Still out front, Jose Gonzalez. Let's kind of mosey our way back here towards the mid-pack of the field, where Jason Lester runs in the 14th spot in that 92 Ford machine. He's got Ryan Vaughn, who had a little bit of trouble tonight, as he's gotten that car pretty much straightened out, running 15th, and now he'll have company by the 11 machine of Jonathan Cadell. Oh, as Ryan Vaughn nearly gets into the side of Cadell. Moved the 11 machine up one. And how about that? Just a couple of positions ahead of them. Ed Williams Jr. running that 65 car in 13th spot. He's going to have company here. And here they come. Jonathan Cadell's one of the contenders. The 92 car, Jason Lester also. As we've got caution. The yellow flag waves here at Pocono. And I believe it's going to be a solo spin, guys, coming off of turn 3 here. Just enough to have the caution flag thrown. Let's see if I can't get my monitors rewound here. '41 car, Bobby Terrell, 6th spot. Coming off turn 3 here, lap 30. He's just going to lose it. Although he doesn't hit anything. On board here with the 41 machine of Bobby Terrell. As you'll see him just loop it there, coming off the corner. Doing a great job of keeping it off the inside wall and spinning it back up on the track like we saw C.J. LeVere do earlier on the front stretch here. And that will bring us back to pace and speed. 31 laps into the books. Approaching the halfway mark here very closely. 39 laps to go. Segment 2 coming to a close here. 2 races away. We got tonight to finish up, and then next Monday night, June 16th, the Michigan 180 once more. The race 13 at Michigan, set for 90 laps. And then we'll take it to Kentucky to round out segment 2. And currently, leading in points, Eric Brundys, 22 up on the deuce of Rhett McBride, who is in second. And the closest man in third will be Jonathan Cadell, 66 points back. So pretty much it's up in the air for Eric Brundys and Rhett McBride. It's the Brundys-McBride show. And these guys, well, let's see. Eric Brundys may lead the field coming down pit road. Gonzalez electing to stay out here. Eric Brundys is going to lead the entire field down pit road, and Jose Gonzalez is going to be a one-man show here and stay out with the pace car. 32 laps have just been completed. We'll be over halfway home when we get fired and going back green. Jose Gonzalez once again going to stay out and be solo man behind pace car for at least 45 seconds. As the drivers down on pit road, most of them taking rights and left sides as well. Michael Woolley will beat the Eric Brundys machine off the pit road. Michael Woolley only taking right sides, so he'll move up from 11th to 2nd. And with that said, we're going to take another commercial break. Again, you're watching LSRTV, live coverage of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series here at Pocono Raceway. We'll be back.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks and terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Back live here at Pocono Raceway, still under yellow flag conditions here. And folks, you never know what happens behind the scenes here. Listening to some of the drivers' communication here, it just cracks me up. These guys are so competitive as the lights off the pace car here. Jose Gonzalez, remember, he did not pit. And how about this? Remember the 11 machine of Michael Woolley? Had to come back through pit road. He may have thought second about that, as he would have been the only man out there with right sides only, the rest of the field with 4 fresh Goodyears, except for the man that you see currently leading the charge in the maroon meatball machine, Jose Gonzalez. I'm going to tell you something, that 94 car, Eric Brundy's, looks strong. I know we hadn't seen him out front tonight. He looks pretty good. With Jose Gonzalez to the bottom side of this restart. Rhett McBride sitting there in 3rd. John Hickman Jr. will restart 4th. Beautiful side by side here on the restart tonight. You're watching it all here, LSRTV live Monday night, full throttle Cup Series. Jose Gonzalez, lap 35, going to be complete this time by. Look at the restart by the deuce of Rhett McBride as Gonzalez puts the block. on him down the front stretch, coming off into turn 1 here. Who's going to play chicken first? Coming off the corner, the yellow machine of Eric Brundy's with the run to the high side. That's Rhett McBride you see to the bottom. Selling coming off into turns 2. Jose Gonzalez leading the way. Rhett McBride taking back over second. Brundy's falling back to third with Thomas J. George sneaking his Halloween-colored Chevy into fourth. Currently 23 drivers on the lead lap all the way back to the Ford machine of C.J. LaVere, who's got some damage to that front end machine from taking a beating coming off the corner, over-correcting it, and hitting that wall. Spinner off of turn 2 there, off through the grass. That's the 92 car, Jason Lester. He'll come back on safely to the racing surface, all the way falling back to 23rd spot. Still green flag racing. Now Thomas J. George back up front, taking over the 3rd spot from Eric Brundy's. Here comes the crossover. Oh, and the 94 car can't quite make it stick. Coming off the corner. Thomas J. George may lose it here now. He comes off the corner a little bit spotty, as now Eric Brundy's looks back up underneath him, and that's going to allow these 2 front runners to take off here at Pocono, diving back off into turn 1. Coming off the corner, these cars still up front. Single file. Back here in 13th spot, Michael Woolley has his hands full with the black machine of Adam Benefield coming up off the corner. That 85 car belongs to Adam. Looking for a secondary sponsor on that car. The 85 machine still trying to work up underneath Michael Woolley coming off corner 3 here at Pocono. 155 miles an hour is the speed coming off the corner for Adam Benefield that time by. Back behind them, Bobby Terrell. Here comes Bobby, passing Guy Snyder for that 15th spot. Bobby qualified second and is just can't quite find the momentum that he always seems to have coming in, week out. He's sitting back here in 16th spot. Michael Woolley, and he will take that position. And 3-car battle back up here for 8th. Jonathan Cadell, the 5 machine of Kyle Tarasca, and the Rhinestone Glenn Cowboy Campbell. Looking up underneath the 5 machine of Kyle Tarasca. This is your battle for the 8th spot as the 44 machine secures it, coming off into turn 1. And now he'll have his eyes set out on the Cadell machine up just ahead. So we've got all types of racing going out on the racetrack currently right now. The leaders up here, Jose Gonzalez, somehow or another, has managed to keep her out front here, not pitting, and still able to run faster lap times here. He just turned a 54.257 to Eric Brundy's 54.329 as we've just witnessed a caution. Caution's out, and this one's going to involve Brandon Peterson in that 78 car. Remember, he had some issues earlier, and he's just going to lose it. He's going to get loose coming off turn 2 here, and he's going to overcorrect it. And he's, oh man, he's nearly going to get it in the outside wall, but I'm going to tell you something. 2 drivers doing an impressive maneuver to get around him. The 13 car Michael Woolley and the 41 of Bobby Terrell is going to make that 78 the hot dog between the buns, so to speak, and just barely squeezed by. "40 laps complete, 30 to go." On the downhill side of things, Brandon Peterson going to bring us out to the caution here once more tonight at Pocono. What a beautiful display of getting their cars around Brandon Peterson. My goodness, that could have been a lot worse. Now does Jose Gonzalez come down pit road? We just had 5 hard green flag laps ran. We had the opportunity to run 6 green flag laps before the last caution. And yes, he will. Jose Gonzalez this time will come down pit road here, and he will bring the entire field with him here at Pocono. This could be the money stop here, the last one tonight, if we should see green flag the rest of the way. Jose Gonzalez leading the charge down pit road. Eric Brundys in the 94 comes to a good complete stop to his pit stop. Eric is again really fast race car tonight, just can't get around that 26 car as he'll make his way to the final destination pit stall here at Pocono at the very end. And as always, after the halfway century point, I always love to give a top 10 rundown and where they're at on the racetrack. We'll do that in just a second. Michael Woolley going from 14th to 2nd spot, folks, just taking right sides only, so another display of courage, perhaps, for Michael Woolley. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll see if we can't get Michael Woolley up into the booth. Michael Woolley, Mike Keaton up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on?
Mike, we just seen you take a little bit of courage call there, coming down pit road, taking right sides only. You going to keep that decision?
Oh, who knows? I'm just kind of having fun with the field now.
Testing the water, so to speak.
Yeah, pretty much. Taking the right side, seeing how she feels. It felt pretty good last run. Made up a lot of positions really quick. I'm glad I was able to avoid whoever it was that spun on the backstretch back there.
Yeah, absolutely outstanding job there, avoiding that. And another driver also getting by Bobby Terrell on the high side. You guys did a remarkable job of splitting difference.
We split them right down the middle.
Yeah, I think the field goal was definitely good. Hey, good luck the rest of the race here at Tricky Triangle.
Thanks a lot, Batman.
We'll see you. Yeah, it looks like Michael Woolley has thought twice, once more. He's done this earlier. He did this earlier. Yeah, messing with the field, that's what he meant. And he is back down pit road, getting some extra good years. You know, I mean, why not? You know, see if you can't maybe lead a lap, maybe, or something, stirring up the atmosphere here at Pocono. And again, now, here we go. Top 10 rundown in the point standings and where they're at currently on the racetrack. Eric Brundys comes into tonight's race in the points lead, 22 points ahead. Currently, the 94 machine sits fourth. Rhett McBride in the deuce coming into tonight, 22 back on the racetrack. In 7th position, Jonathan Cadell is the man who sits 3rd in points. Currently on the racetrack at Pocono, Jonathan's in 9th. Thomas J. George in the 1 car who can't quite get things going. Maybe he's found some momentum. He sits 5th, and he's 4th in the points standing. Steve Gottschalk comes into tonight's race 5th in the points. He's 12th currently on the racetrack. Scott Simley is 6th, and he's 8th currently now. Nathan Little coming into tonight's race in 7th. Nathan would not make tonight's race. Kevin Linden coming into tonight's race in the 8th position. Remember him, the 48 car first wreck of the evening, 3-car pileup. He's currently sitting in 19th though, folks, 12 seconds back off the lead pace, obviously on the lead lap here. Again, 19th now currently being shown. Mark Bratcher, kind of quiet tonight. And there's a reason why Mark Bratcher's quiet tonight. He'll come into tonight's race 9th in the point standings, and Bratcher taking the night off. And last but not least, Brandon Peterson, who rounds out the top 10 in the point standings at Full Throttle 2014 series. Brandon Peterson currently on the racetrack, shown in 21st position on the lead lap. Guy Snyder is the man who's shown on the point here tonight. Gonzalez will start this restart on the outside. He will make the 3rd lead change, and under 5 cautions tonight. 5 yellow flags have been thrown and 6 green flags. Start getting your picks ready, folks. We'll do the pick the pick the win segment here coming up soon. The PTW, pick to win. Who do you pick to win tonight's race? Pocono Raceway, race 12. And in the famous words of Kyle Taraska, the first 40 laps were practice, and I couldn't agree more. We're about to see some good green flag racing here tonight. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, crank it up style here live on LSRTV. Guy Snyder losing the lead, coming off of turn 3, gets into the outside wall just a hair, and he'll continue, though, to lead down the front stretch here. It's a drag race off into turn 1. Jose Gonzalez looking to reclaim the lead here in 1. And man, Guy Snyder driving it in there real deep. He will hold on, and there he goes. What a save. Guy Snyder nearly losing it off the corner there, making a tremendous save through the grass, and he'll get back out onto the racing surface. Still green flag racing here as Jose Gonzalez has reclaimed the lead for now. John Higman Jr. going from 3rd to 2nd there. Thomas J. George 3rd. And Rhett McBride rounding out 4th. Look back here in 16th spot. 66, Brian Harvey, Ed Williams Jr., and the 78 of Brandon Peterson. These guys going heavy at it. The Toyota that you see topside racetrack at Pocono, as the 78 car, the 66, get in trouble. coming off the corner, these guys are going to collect each other, and that's going to bring out caution. Number 6 in the 1 car, Thomas J. George, is around. Just up ahead of this, Thomas was running inside the top 5. In fact, Thomas was 3rd spot, and Thomas is just going to get loose by himself coming off the corner. He'll loop it down the stretch there on the grass, but the 2 cars that's going to collect each other are the 66 of Brian Harvey and the 78 car. And what a beautiful replay there that you just saw. And the Guy Snyder machine may have gotten into the Brian Harvey there to set that chain reaction off. Yeah, that's what happened. It looks like the 78 car Brandon Peterson was up top, and he was maintaining a good line. It's just that car just kind of started to get away from him, and you can just see he'll come across the right front of Brian Harvey, and Guy Snyder really nowhere to go except into the back there. And Ed Williams Jr. going to do a pretty good job of avoiding that one. It's a call to action here. 47 laps complete. What do you do? That brings us to our 6th caution tonight. So that's going to stack them back up, boys. And we're going to get to restart side by side again. No takers on pit road here. Under the pace and speed of 70 miles an hour, Jose Gonzalez does a couple of more parade laps before we get back going green here. 48 laps have been completed. So let's see, that puts us around 22 laps to go currently. I believe we'll run at least 2 more laps under the green flag here. Let's see if we can't talk to the man who's had the most laps led here tonight so far, Jose Gonzalez. Jose, Mike, up in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what, that meatball maroon Chevy looks pretty good out in first tonight. You had a couple of guys get around you, but no problem getting back around them, Jose.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep my nose clean and not make mistakes, and you know, there are a couple of guys there that can hang with me. I'm sure the number 2 and the number 94, at least they've been able to get pretty close and pass me, and but they've been making a little mistake here and there, and you know, that's what's keeping me up front.
Absolutely. Well, Jose, as always, good luck the rest of the race. You'll have about 19 or 18 to get her done here at Pocono.
All right. Thank you very much.
Always nice to get some guys up here in the booth with us tonight here live on LSRTV. Ryan Vaughn, this is Mike Keaton up in the booth tonight. You got a copy? Ryan, I tell you what, you kind of struggled here at the beginning of the race, but I think maybe some things have gotten turned around for you. You're sitting right here in the top 10.
Yeah, 10-4. I've managed to stay out of a little bit of trouble and just keep all 4 wheels on the asphalt. So managed not to make a second mistake so far.
Well, we kind of all know how Pocono is, number one, Ryan. You know, the tricky triangle track. I like to call it the Bermuda Triangle. Look, you got 3 different types of turns. Turn 1, 14 degrees. Turn 2, 8 degree. And, of course, turn 3, even flatter, a 6-degree bank in there. So, is it a struggle out there tonight?
It is, a little bit. You can misjudge a corner real easily, and you can go through it completely different than the way you wanted to, and you'll fight the entire way through it, trying to make sure you don't lose it. So it's definitely been a struggle, but I would like to say my driving is what's got me up here in the top 10 right now, but it's not. It's the mistakes everybody else is making. So I'm very fortunate not to have made a second mistake yet.
Absolutely. Well, mistakes or not, Ryan Vaughn's sitting securely currently in that 28 car in 10th spot tonight. Good luck, Ryan. You'll have about 18 laps to get her to the front.
Appreciate it, guys.
There you have it, folks. Ryan Vaughn, and of course, doing a good job tonight here at Pocono Raceway. See. Looks like the pace car and RSR official is going to let them side by side it up here, as we've just been given the 1 to go signal. This time by, we will go back. Green flag racing here at Pocono Raceway, here on LSRTV's live coverage. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series Monday Night Racing, brought to you and sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. This is it, folks. This is where you start picking your driver. It's bad luck to pick them within 10 laps to go. You got to pick your driver to win it outside the top 10 laps. So if you're going to pick your driver, make it known now. Well, I've seen a lot of Jose Gonzalez is being thrown up. But I don't know. Jose's right. He's got some heavy hitters beside him. John Hickman Jr. isn't a pushover. That 2-car, Rhett McBride, I'm going to tell you what. He once told me he'd wreck his grandma to win a race. The 11-car, Jonathan Cadell, he won last week at Dover, so we know he's hot. Scott Simley, always see him in the top 10 running, top 5 running. And the Eric Brundy's machine, the 94 car, fastest in practice. Let's not forget about that, folks. He turned a 53.311, quickest in practice. And he's came all the way back from no man's land in 23rd. He's up to 5th. Can he get the job done tonight? Start the timer. The laps are winding down. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Back racing. Coming off into turn 1, this is where you really make your money right here. John Hickman Jr. with an excellent run through the corner here. Closes within about a car length of Gonzalez. Rhett McBride, meanwhile, he'll close the door on the 60 car of John Hickman Jr. Off into turn 3 here. Wrecking here at Pocono. And we may be under the green flag still here. No yellow just yet, but there's some cars that slowed up. Guy Snyder being one of the cars involved in this wreck. Jason Lester, another driver. This is going to be a big one here, guys. Michael Woolley's going to be in it as well. Michael Woolley and looks like Jason Lester gets up underneath the left rear quarter panel. We'll have 17 laps to go. Gonzalez continuing to lead here, single file for the most part currently. John Higman Jr. the closest behind. He's about 5-6 car lengths back. Rhett McBride about the same to the second spot. And Cadell pretty much the same. There's Brundy's may be closing in on the 11 machine, coming off the corner here down turns 3 now on the front stretch. Wow, Jose Gonzalez and John Higman Jr. both turning 53.9s. In fact, a couple laps ago, Rhett McBride putting down his fastest lap of the race time, 53.897. John Higman Jr. the fastest tonight, 53.847. Gonzalez lap time, 53.905. Both of those laps turned back on lap 37 and lap 38. Rhett McBride under fire by the 11 machine of Jonathan Cadell. He'll hold the third spot for now, but Cadell looks to be a little bit quicker coming through and rolling through the center there. John Higman Jr., folks, closing in ever so slightly this time. It was a 9.23 against a 9.42 lap time. So Higgy, a little bit faster. Now Cadell makes the move up underneath the deuce machine of Rhett McBride, and he'll bring the 94 Pennzoil Ford of Eric Brundy's with him. This is the battle for the third spot, coming off corner 3. 56 laps complete, this time by winding down, folks. 14 laps to go. Remember, if we see the C word, we'll leave it at that, the C word. It's at least 4 laps to 5 laps under caution. Keep that in mind. 14 laps to go. Currently, Gonzalez leading down the backstretch into corner number 2. Down the second backstretch into corner number 3. Meatball and Company leading the charge. Higman Jr. gonna have to wait as caution comes out. Caution is out. It may be the 85 car of Adam Benefield. 11th spot coming off the corner. In front of him as well, Kyle Tarasca spinning things out. Right in front of Glenn Campbell. All right, we're back here. Caution still out on the speedway. Kyle Taraska pulling it behind the garage area. Another driver pulling it back behind garage area. Kevin Linden. Let's see if they bring them down pit road this time by. Pit road is open. Gonzalez says, no, sir, not today. John Higman Jr. tries to pull out the fake, and he can't quite make anybody come down. Scott Simley will be the lonesome goosum down pit road here at Pocono. Scott Simley running 10th. He will come down pit road. So, folks, this will be your starting lineup here, so to speak, with about 10 laps to go. When we come back from commercial, Gonzalez leading the charge here at Pocono Raceway. Back live here, Gonzalez again, still leading. John Higman Jr. running second. Jonathan Goodell third. Rick McBride fourth. Eric Brundy's fifth. Bobby Terrell currently sixth on the racetrack. Glenn Campbell seventh. Thomas J. George eighth. Dan Murray in the 55 car ninth. And Steve Gottschalk rounding out the top 10 here. See if we can't get John Higman Jr. in the broadcast booth. John Higman Jr., this is Mike. You got a copy?
I got you, Mike.
Higgy, as they call you. I like to call you Ziggy Higgy. John Higman Jr. starting in the second spot here on the restart. John, you got some fans here tonight. Can you get by that infamous 26 car?
I'm going to try. He's been pretty quick all night, but hopefully I've been saving a little special something for him.
Absolutely. Well, you know, this is the tricky triangle raceway, Pocono Raceway, of course, bringing us three different types of corners. And, John, it looks like it's been giving everybody some problems tonight, so to speak. Each corner so much differently. You got to, you know, you have different entrances, maybe in different exits of each corner with the degrees of banking. Is there a certain spot that you're going to put that JGR Chevy to get by that 26 machine tonight? A particular corner?
Either two or three,
John,
of course.
Can we see the chrome bumper?
I don't know. It depends on what happens here. It seems like I might be maybe a little quicker than him through two, but we'll just see how it goes. I'll just try to make my move wherever I can.
All right, John, you'll have about a 10-lap shootout to do that in. Good luck.
Thanks.
There you have it, folks. One of the JGR drivers tonight, John Higman Jr.
Right
See
now.
if we can't get Jonathan Cadell up in here. Jonathan, this is Mike Keaton up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
JC, you're in third. You're in a great position to start here behind Jose Gonzalez. You'll know exactly when he gets taken off here. We saw John Higman Jr. take off with him on a restart once or twice. Are you going to be able to keep up with him and ultimately maybe use that Air Force bumper?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes on the start here. I ain't been running up front all night. I was just kind of trying to avoid the wreck, so I think these guys got a little bit more than I do, but hopefully they make a mistake and get up to the front.
Well, all righty, JC, you'll have about 9 to 10 laps to get it done in. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Righty, back here, still pacing, but we have been given the 1 to go, so this time by we will go back. Green flag racing, currently 60 laps complete. 60 laps out of 70. We'll have 9 laps to go when we restart. And folks, I hate to bring this up, remember, at Pocono we're looking at about a 4 lap of pace laps if it were to go back under the caution. So you do your math. I think we may have room for 1 more, but it's going to have to happen within the first 2 to 3, 4 laps here as we go back green. Anything after that, folks, I think it may be one of those type races where we just say, man, I wish it didn't have to finish under yellow. Tonight's race sponsored, as always, Gary Mercer Trucking. Brought to you by LSRTV tonight, Monday night. Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series style on a beautiful track, 2.5 miles of Pocono Raceway. The Bermuda Triangle is back under green, and John Hickman Jr. is gonna, oh gosh, words cannot describe what just happened. John Hickman Jr. is gonna get a run on the restart. Oh, Laura, I cannot believe it. And he's gonna get rear-ended by the 2 car of Rhett McBride. It looked like John was trying to time the restart with Gonzalez. And that is really going to put a dent in those 2 cars. And I'm looking back here at the replay, Laura. I think the 26 car, John Hickman Jr. and Rhett McBride. Okay, here we go. The 44 car, Glenn Campbell. He's torn up. Smoke coming from the 85 of Adam Benefiel. That 2 car looks pretty destroyed. Peterson may be getting a couple of licks in there as well. So there could be some torn up race cars here. And folks, if you love the green, white, checkered, or the 3-lap shootout, this is where you start to crank it up at, because we will go back green flag racing. And we're going to step away and take our last commercial break before we bring you the last couple of laps, the exciting race here at Pocono Raceway. You're watching LSR TV's live coverage of Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. We'll be back.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska, We run over 120,000 miles per month with some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and all your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
We are back where you just witnessed the replay once more, and sometimes, folks, it's just better to let the replay speak for itself. We will restart this race with a new leader, and it is the 11 car of Jonathan Goodell. We talked to him during the last caution in the interview. He's now leading the race. Second spot is Eric Brundy's. Third, currently on the racetrack, is Rhett McBride. And Rhett does have some damage to the front end of that machine and the rear. So it'll be fun to see how that car reacts on the restart here. Bobby Terrell will restart fourth. Glenn Campbell also with some good damage to that car on the back end of things and on the front car as well. And Thomas J. George shown in sixth. And he's also got severe damage. So this is going to be fun to watch to see how these cars react on the good restart here. Good news is well, for Jonathan Goodell fans, we may see a repeat, a two-peat. The bad news is if we go under one more caution, the race will end. Can the man out of Virginia get it done? Is it the 94 car of Eric Brundy's out of the Midwest? Is it Rhett McBride, the Toyota from Georgia? Or can Bobby Terrell take his Mid-South Trade and Paint Chevy to the front here at Pocono? Or will it be the Rhinestone Glenn Campbell Cowboy out of Florida? We'll find out in 2 more laps. The 2 to go signal had just been given at the line there. Again, guys, there's a lot of drivers and race cars currently on the racetrack that's got some really beat up cars. One in particular I'm keeping my eye on is the number 2 machine, Rhett McBride. He does have some damage. The 44 car, Glenn Campbell, has some damage. Thomas J. George as well. Two cars that look really good, though, on all 4 corners are the Ford Fusion of Eric Brundy's, the Toyota Camry of Jonathan Goodell, and those 2 drivers currently 1 and 2. Obviously, the man down low, Jonathan Goodell in the black Toyota, will have the advantage. Where you see him now is somewhere about the range of where he'll take this field back to the green at. "65 laps complete," the 5 fingers. The high 5 in the air by the flagman tonight at Pocono. Doing a great job for us tonight. Using all flags, except the blue and yellow one. I don't think we've seen the blue and yellow one tonight. Some of you will get that, some of you won't. We hadn't went long enough green flag racing to see the move over flag being thrown, okay? I know. Sometimes, you know, I gotta make jokes with myself up here. You know, it's when I tell myself a joke and I laugh at the joke, I think that's when it becomes a problem. As long as I don't laugh, I think we're okay. I haven't seen any names being thrown out here, guys. Who's going to get this win tonight? Jonathan Goodell, Eric Brundy's. Can Rhett McBride bring his banged-up Toyota, dent and broken, towards the front and win this thing? Here comes Bobby Terrell. Can he come out of nowhere? Can Thomas J. George wall climb his way around? Can Glenn Campbell ride his horse through victory lane tonight? Can the 55 car, Dan Murray, make magic from Illinois tonight? Reach around, strap up, we're going green. Green flag in the air for the last time tonight. Jonathan Goodell leads at Pocono, coming off into turn 1. He'll have himself all alone. Eric Brundy second. Meanwhile, McBride fallen victim to the 41 car of Bobby Terrell. So far, everyone playing nice. Nearly 3 wide, coming off corner 1. The 55 of Dan Murray up underneath Thomas J. George. Down one of the back stretches. 3 wide. 55 car in the middle. McBride to the bottom. Brundy's half a car length. Give him a bump coming off the corner. Goodell leading. Looking for the run, coming off corner 3, Eric Brundy's. Looking all over the Pocono racetrack here down the front stretch. 3 to go. To the high side, Brundy's goes. Goodell to the bottom. Meanwhile, Bobby Terrell being passed by the 55 of Dan Murray. Those 2 drivers trading paint, coming off the corner, side by side. Exiting the corner, the 94 car, Eric Brundy's looking once again to the high side banks of Pocono through corner number 3. Out of the turn, Brundy's looks like he's got momentum. Coming off the corner, he will take the lead, but he'll take some wall with him as he'll take it over. Goodell back to second. 2 laps to go. Look at the box. Grundy's going way down low to put the block move on the Cadell. As now they'll set sail off into turn 1 here, 135 miles an hour. Coming off the corner, Brundy's with the lead for now. Cadell looking high side top, high and pretty. Meanwhile, there's a 3-wide action with Glenstone Cowboy in the middle with the 68 of Simley to the bottom. They'll touch, bang, and beat. Coming through the corner, Thomas J. George into the wall. No yellow flag yet. No one's around. We're still green flag racing. This time by the white silk in the air. Brundy's looking for the lead off 3. Can he find it? It's there. Is the room there? Cadell leading the charge currently. 1 lap to go. If they wreck, who cares? It's coming to the checkers. Brundy's looking pretty to the outside in his yellow Pennzoil machine. Can't quite find the grip. Cadell leading off corner 1. 2 more to go. 2 more turns to go at Pocono. Coming up on the 8-degree turn here. Cadell setting sail off, coasts through the corner, looking good. Now they'll look into turn 3, distance ahead, 6-degree bank corner coming up. Can Brundy's do the unthinkable? Can Cadell do the unimaginable? Can he two-peat? Can he win? Brundy's off the corner with a run to the bottom side. Cadell puts the block and he'll win Pocono, the two-peat at Pocono. What a finish, folks. Jonathan Cadell will win at Pocono under the green flag lap. Brundy's putting everything he had in it. He just come up short. Looking at the replay here, Eric Brundy's will come up short and finish second. Dan Murray with an excellent 3rd spot finish for him tonight. And again, you'll see Cadell win this race at Pocono in what seems to be maybe one of the best races all year. 12 into a young season. The 2014 Real Sil Racing Full Throttle Cup Series getting started. What a win. And we'll take you to the quick commercial break and have the top 3 rundown. When we return, interviews. Hello, race fans, and welcome back to where we just had one of the dramatic finishes of all time of the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series live here on LSRTV at Pocono Raceway. Dan Murray would do the unthinkable and bring that 55 machine home in third. Dan, what did it look like at the finish from your perspective?
It was awesome. I didn't know if I was going to get a chance to get up there, but once those guys started battling, I thought I had a shot, and then it was I just went and kind of into spectator mode there at the end and watched those two guys go at it.
I'll tell you what, Dan, it's shaped up for one good finish tonight at Pocono. Coming into a race like Pocono, the tricky triangle, Bermuda Triangle, whatever you want to call it, a very tricky track. We talked about that earlier. Any idea that a third-place finish tonight?
Well, as a team, we kind of, all of us at Still Horse Racing, we came up with a game plan to kind of just hang out and ride in the back of the pack, which we don't really like to do, but with the setup as loose as it was, it turned out to be a good move. And there for a while, though, I thought we had waited a little too long. Jonathan decided to go a little earlier, which turned out to be a great move. But yeah, Adam and Jonathan and myself, we were just kind of hanging out, and as the cautions kept coming, the car kind of came around there in a longer run. It was just, I had to tell you, man, that was a blast. The heart rate's up.
Absolutely. And Dan, as always, next race, next Monday night, we move on from Pocono to Michigan. How does things look and to play out in your team's venue at Michigan?
We'll be ready to go for sure. Michigan is probably one of my favorite tracks on the sim, so I'm looking forward to it.
And last but not least, Dan, obviously your teammates, who else makes it happen for you week in, week out?
I just want to say thanks to everybody at Still Horse Racing, Jason Swan, Cody Gibson, Jonathan Cadell, Adam Beneful, Steve Ritter, just Hugo Lindner. It was it's a great team to be a part of, and they really helped improve me as far as driving style, so I owe everything to those guys.
Absolutely. There you have it, folks. The 55 car, Dan Murray, getting it done. Third spot tonight. Great finish at Pocono Raceway. Now off to the number 94 car, Eric Brundys, who battled with Jonathan Cadell the last few laps of this race, and what would be probably one of the dramatic finishes of all time in the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series in my book. Eric, you ran him down, you passed him, he got you back, you ran him back down, you passed him, and it seemed like he got around you, and you had one more last shot, and Jonathan gave you just enough room under the inside, it looked like, to where maybe you could have got a little piece of the left rear quarter panel, but maybe then Eric Brundys' machine thought, hey, I'll settle for second.
No, yeah, I'm getting tired of settling for second, though. But, no, it was a good run. I don't know. My whole deal in situations like that is just racing the guy clean, no matter what, because I'd rather finish second clean than win dirty. So, yeah, it was a good race. I'm glad to be a part of Ricky Craven, Kurt Busch type of battle there. So, yeah, it was great. I'm sure it was even better to watch.
I'll tell you what, Eric, you had some guys pulling for you and you had some guys pulling against you, but you made that Pennzoil Ford look mighty fast out there tonight. Congratulations getting that second spot tonight. Who makes it happen for you?
I just want to thank you guys for a great broadcast and taking time out of your nights to do this, and of course my teammates for sitting with me, and yeah, that's about it. We'll go to Michigan.
There you have it, folks. Second place, the 94 car, the good-looking yellow Pennzoil snap-on machine of Eric Brundys will take home tonight second. Now on to the number 11 machine, the two-peat, last week's winner at Dover, this week's winner at Pocono, Jonathan Cadell. What a race, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I've been racing for probably 15 years now. It's by far the best race I have ever been a part of.
Well, put it into perspective. You're taking the green flag for the last time tonight, whether it go under caution right after that or not. I mean, it's in the bag, and it stays green. What's kind of running through your head with Eric Brundy's beating all over the back door, and then you having to actually get back around him, several times?
Well, first of all, I was worried about tire spin on the restart there. You saw what happened between Jose and John there. So I was trying to worry about that, and then I got a great jump on him, and he got right back up to me, and I knew that I'd have to drive my heart out to stay in front of him. But luckily, he raced me so clean, and there were so many times that he could have taken me out, and he gained a lot of respect tonight, and I'll definitely repay him for that later in the season.
I'll tell you what, one to go back and watch for sure the last 8 laps or so of this race, going back to the wreck with John Higman Jr. and Gonzalez, and from that point on, again, top-notch racing out of the guys at Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series again on Monday night. Jonathan Cadell getting the 2-peat in the bag. Now we go to Michigan. Some say right after the checkered flag is thrown, Jonathan, that most people forget about where they're at and they start to focus on Michigan. I'm sure you'll celebrate with the wife tonight and with the buddies, but what's the perspective going into next week at Michigan? You've got a championship to win, and by my standards, you're still somewhat in the books to win it, but you would actually need Brundy's to really just not show up the last couple of races. But you're still kind of in the points battle here for a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I usually only do 2 or 3 races a week, and this is one of them. So I put all my focus on Michigan and run there with my buddies there at Still Horse Racing, me and Dan and Adam and Jason Swan and all them. We always get together, run some test sessions, and see what we got for next Monday.
A potential new nickname for Jonathan could be 3-Pete Cadell. Kind of sounds ringy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, who makes it happen for you once more, Jonathan?
Well, I ran a special scheme tonight for Police Officer Brian Jones at the Norfolk Police Department, and he was killed in a senseless act of violence a couple of weeks ago. And can't do much, but putting his name on my car and getting the victory for him really meant a lot to me. So I'd like to send a shout out to the Norfolk Police Department and my best friend, Police Officer David LaFleur, Officer Jones' wife, Rebecca Jones, and everybody out there at the Norfolk Police Department. This was for them. Absolutely.
What a great story there, and a good way to show them with a win here tonight. That's just a good story from Jonathan Cadell's crew and his group. He'll take home the checkered flag tonight at Pocono Raceway and look for a 3-peat perhaps at Michigan next week live here on LSRTV, brought to you and presented to you and sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. I'm Michael Keaton. Laura Lawson pushing all the buttons and giving you the beautiful camera work tonight that took place. We'll see you next Monday night at Michigan.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks and terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.